we are 50% a Kim's podcast.
We are 50% Kim's, 25% MasterChef Australia, 25% Queer Eye, 1% everything else.
Yeah.
101%. Fuck yeah.
Yes, we know how to math.
You know what they say?
No,
Always
third-
give your
third-
101%.
Third MasterChef, third Kim's, third Queer Eye,
Queer Eye.
and then the remaining tiny
There
percent.
are no remainings if they're thirds.
No, there is like 0.00.
No, it's recurring.
It's not. It's a not repeater one.
Yes.
I hate all of you. I refuse to converse with
Sorry,
kids.
an error margin of plus minus 0.0001%. So, you know.
That's not enough noughts.
Three decimal places is significant enough, right?
Yeah, but 3 decimal places is not helpful for you.
Brandon, want an intro?
Sure.
Saliva-filled intro.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back
Oh my god.
to the latest episode of the Great Mates podcast. If you don't know what the Great Mates podcast is, it's a fun little podcast where a bunch of Aussies chat about life and being Aussie and current events and pop culture. Sometimes it makes sense, and most of the time it doesn't. I am Brandon, and with me today I have Josh
Brandon, stop deep throwing the mic, would you?
and Nick.
Why are you a pilot now? What's the local temperature when we land?
The local temperature when we land is 7 degrees Celsius.
And how many Fahrenheit? Shouldn't be that hard.
Approximately 44. 45-ish? Really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds about
It's
right.
around
Yes.
that ballpark.
Yes, yes.
It's in the mid 40s.
Hang on.
Yes.
44. Closer to 44.
Mid 40s. We're going to be experiencing a little turbulence today, but
Just a
Don't-
little?
no need to fear. Everything is going fine.
Oh! Brendan, are you...
Anyways, how are you guys doing today?
Trying not to get kidnapped, apparently. I'm a lot better now. What?
We're gonna crash. That was someone yelling from very far away, and not me.
Totally not muffling your own voice.
It doesn't even sound like me, Josh. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I mean, you know.
Look, I'm just saying one day I could become a pilot, and I think it'd be great.
Brandon is a pilot, huh?
Fuck yeah.
But you're already wanting to be a...
I'd be all like, no.
Oh, you mean...
Flying a sky vroom vroom.
Oh no, that's what you call a gay dad. Are you okay, Brandon?
I can become a pilot.
Yes, like your dream to become a rich lawyer daddy.
Yes.
Yes.
But I could become a rich pilot daddy. That exists too. I think.
I don't know how
Re-
pilots are doing for themselves in this.
Dep-
I think
Depends-
pilots
depends
on
who you're flying
big
with.
airlines are doing pretty well for themselves.
At the big airlines, nah, man. Like,
Depends who you end up flying for.
yeah, those Jetstar pilots ain't making shit.
Yeah.
You call Jetstar a big airline?
Seeing as there's no response, what are we supposed to be talking about today?
Don't ask me.
Being pilots, it seems.
No.
We're now a pilot podcast.
Oh dear.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Cabin Crew.
That has to be a podcast that already exists.
If it doesn't, can we claim the name?
Hi everyone, welcome back to The Cockpit.
No, that's definitely a
That's
podcast. That is definitely a podcast by some porn website or something.
Hello
Or-
everyone, welcome back to The Black Box.
No, the cockpit has to. The cockpit has to be about Mile High Club.
Hello
You're
everyone,
sure it's
and
not
welcome
about
to
raising
The Mile High
chickens?
Club. The best aviation-based podcast in the Southern
sweet.
Hemisphere.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, God. Anyway, how the fuck do you segue from that?
You know who else
Brandon.
has a podcast? Us.
Who? Oh, yes, us. And what do we
Hi
normally
everyone,
talk
and
about?
welcome back to the Great Mates podcast.
Oh, my God. Ooh. Speaking of content that we often talk about on this podcast, we're revisiting.
We weren't talking about that at all, Josh.
Come on, Brandon, breathe for like a hot second. So, Simu has graced us with his ever-loving presence once again on Subtle Asian Traits, and from what I understand, people think Simu is ugly and is not cut out to be Shang-Chi. I have feelings and I've vented already. But as many of you know, majority of us, I believe the only person who hasn't watched Kim's is Jamer.
How dare he?
I know, right?
How is he even still on this podcast?
By the grace of
He's at
the
least
grace of some deity.
He's at least the sixth most regular.
That's true. But yeah, is Simu ugly?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Tell me, boys. Brandon. Brandon's just stirring shit for the sake of stirring shit. We all know how you feel about Simu, Brandon.
Yeah, I just told you.
Mm-mm. Read between the lines, people. Read between the lines.
No, I think there's a valid criticism coming from, I guess, the Chinese people. The Chinese-born Chinese people.
As in Asians, not the Asian diasporic population.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, I just have a problem with the fact that the video was made. Like, I don't care if that many people have that many opinions about how Simu looks.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I feel like it's a completely unnecessary video and quite pointed of a video to be made.
I see your point. Because it comes off as a video that just wants to stir shit up for the sake of doing it.
Which is unfortunate because I think that the conversation that they're having is important.
Is it though?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
about, it's different beauty standards between the East and the West. It's actually a very interesting and important conversation to have. Not specifically that they think Simu is ugly. That's...
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get you now.
Well, it's not that he's even ugly.
It's not. It's just that he looks average.
He looks
for most of them.
average. well, for the people that they interviewed, he came out to, I believe I did the math, an average of the average of the scores that the three women who were interviewed provided were 5.7. So incredibly average. But yeah, the whole construction of beauty in terms of an East Asian context is pretty face, thick body, or just straight up twink. Yeah, that is the evolution of what, like, how men are perceived and what masculinity is now in East Asia. And I have K-pop and K-dramas to attribute to that change. So, you know.
But then where does the idea of martial arts films fall into that idea? Because films like The Raid, and of course The Raid 2, have been successful both in quotation marks East/Asia and then the West/America. So where does that idea of attractiveness fit in with those types of films?
I think what the viewpoint is for the people that were approached was it's a superhero film, and to some extent, I know from the video even, I think the woman who gave Simu a score of 3.5 mentioned people like Eddie Peng, but also Jackie Chan and Donnie Yen as people they would consider for this role. I think first and foremost, I think the question was worded in a way where it was Marvel and superhero film were sort of the main takeaways from what the questions were asking about Simu and his suitability for the role. So I'm not entirely sure if they gave enough context for what Shang-Chi is as a superhero and how martial arts intersects with that. So from what I observed watching that video, it's just, yeah, they just want a pretty Asian superhero, and as much as it sounds reductive and superficial, I can understand where they're coming from.
I also only want pretty superheroes, so
you know, they could have gotten Scarlett Johansson to play Shang-Chi.
Fuck yeah.
Or another white person, seeing we've had two white martial arts characters in the MCU now.
Like Tilda Swinton.
Yep.
And, well, okay, so does Jeremy Renner's character as Ronin technically fall under this?
Well, I was more thinking of Iron Fist, but also, I mean, seeing I am the resident comics expert.
Yes.
Both those characters are, like, Ronin is just Hawkeye, and Iron Fist has always been a white guy, so those characters have always been white, which also doesn't make it okay. Like, when you look at the history of Black Panther was always a very blaxploitation. Well, even before that, it was just like black character, white savior. Like, there's been a lot of talk recently with the MCU about part of, like, Wakanda has this secret police force, and this police force is led by T'Challa's adopted brother, who is white. And the MCU have pretty much said, you know what, we don't want to add a white person to this film, so we're not going to bring this character into our films. So in some parts, and this also goes with the casting of Simu, but I think they're kind of starting to correct the wrongs they made with the Ancient One.
Yeah, hopefully. We're getting there. And, like, because I also watched Wong Fu Productions sort of, they have a video out as well talking about Simu and the impact of Shang-Chi and its relevance to which community we're supposed to be Marvel is targeting this film at is
Yeah,
more.
that's an interesting point.
Is
That,
who
is the
audience for?
especially
who's
after
it made for? Yes.
especially after Black Panther and Captain Marvel, where they're like, cool, there is this target demographic that we can see that we can milk the fuck out of, which they didn't quite do that with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was a small success, but everyone, like, no one thought Black Panther was going to do that type of numbers. No one thought Black Panther was going to be the highest grossing single superhero movie. So yeah, they could be trying to do that, especially with a large Chinese market.
Yeah, but I think what is happening is that this is sort of I think slightly more geared to the diasporic population.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean,
this is
the more you can tap that Chinese market, the more money you're gonna make.
And I don't remember. Has Marvel ever performed well in China?
Not. I mean,
Because from what I remember, it's touch and go.
Yeah, they're not doing terribly, but at the same time, it's not like
it's not blockbuster.
No, they're still making like MCU level money, but they're not making Black Panther in the US money.
Yes, obviously. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We have until, I believe they're targeting a Lunar New Year 2021 release date. Because obviously
yes.
auspiciousness. So that would put, I believe Lunar New Year 2021 is somewhere in...
Well, I mean, I can look at the dates because Marvel have all their dates laid out.
Early to mid February, I think.
It's my birthday, keep that date free.
Oh god. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to put too much hype as I do with every other Marvel film. So I live in hope and wait and see what happens.
The current release date is 12th of February 2021.
Yes. Bang on Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year.
Also hitting up that date that has been previously held by Deadpool, Logan, Black Panther, Captain Marvel. So that area that does really, really good, but that no one thought was ever going to be good, which is why Black Panther got that place.
Ah, okay.
Because they were like, like this will make money, but they didn't. Like, there's a reason that Avengers always comes out around May, especially. It's weird because, like, in Australia that makes sense because, like, Endgame dropped Anzac Day, so a lot of people were seeing it Anzac Day and that weekend. But in America, there isn't really anything around there.
I think is it in their build up to summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the movie podcast that I listened to, kind of May has become the start of the summer blockbuster season. Yeah. The whole point of summer blockbuster is kids aren't at school. Let's get that teenage demographic. So it's weird, but I mean, it works. Fucking Endgame is now the highest grossing film of all time.
Oh dear. Oh wow. And speaking of, I guess, Asian related stuff, Nick, you had a question about tea. I can't remember what it is though.
Yeah, so I'll see if I can, because I was stupid and didn't save the original thing. So
is it on Twitter or is it?
Yeah, it's Twitter.
I think I can find it.
But I mean, first, okay, if you find that, I'll bring up something else quickly, which is a kid thinking that the floppy disk save icon was a vending machine with a beverage in it.
That's a very Japanese thing, though.
Yeah, Japanese user of Microsoft Excel asked, why is the save icon a vending machine with a beverage dispensed?
I mean, they're not wrong.
It's a very fat, square vending machine.
Yeah, Japan has very fat, square vending machines.
I suppose. But I always laugh at, like, even the technology that I grew up with, that my cousins who are, 8, 9 and younger, do not even understand. Like, a push-button telephone and floppy disks and VHSs. And, like, I'm 24 and that makes me feel old. Okay, yeah. I see what the kid meant now.
Yes. Japan has a very interesting relationship with vending machines.
Yeah.
Because they quite literally put anything in everything.
Yeah. I've seen, like, these became my favorite vending machine of all time.
But yes, what was your initial question about?
Well, the tea thing was along the lines of, like, people who do not make a strong cup of tea are weak and do not deserve to live. It was along that type of thing, and the type of thing like if that tea bag or tea of whatever is not in that cup for at least 3 to 5 minutes, we cannot be friends. And this made me think of, like, yeah, I 100% agree. Like, and then I was like, do people not make tea that way? Like, usually if I'm using tea bag, that tea bag stays in that cup until that cup is empty. The only time it's not is when I'm using
until it's empty.
Loose leaf.
Until it's empty, huh?
No.
Interesting.
No.
Don't you let it steep, and then once you've steeped it for as strong as you want it to, you remove the tea bag?
Why not just leave it? Why not just leave the tea bag in the cup?
But doesn't it get...
And then when you're finished, you can just, like, put the cup upside down over the bin. The tea bag falls in the bin, and, like, there's no drippage of any kind.
But that's what a teaspoon is for. Also, let's clarify. This is no, because I feel like we need to compare techniques in person because this is going to stress me out. Let's clarify this. We're talking like the white way to prepare tea and the white way to prepare black tea.
Well, I mean, there's also the American way of making tea.
Oh, that's not tea.
Which everyone knows is wrong except the Americans.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Which is it's either just tea with no sugar or in a microwave, which is even worse.
They don't have kettles or
Okay, let's be real.
When I found that out, I was baffled.
We just cannot trust Americans with beverages.
Apparently not. They make shit coffee, so we should have learnt our lesson there and then, but apparently we didn't.
I will say, now I drink a lot of, like, loose leaf, so I have, like, a tea... I know, like, it's a mesh basket almost, that you just, like, put the tea in and then add the water.
Uh-huh.
And then that you just, like, lift out of the cup, put in it's got, like, a lid, and you just flip the lid upside down, and then you put the basket thing in the lid, so then there's no drippage, and then you drink it.
Uh-huh.
Well, what am I doing wrong, in your opinion?
I'm gonna let Brandon...
No, that's fine, Nick. Your tea making is
You
fine.
do you. You do
Tea making
you.
is fine.
Also, I have British citizenship if I want it, so, like, we invented tea.
Say that again.
We invented tea. The British invented tea.
Anyway, you had another question about the floppy disk.
Well, yes, I did ask in the group chat, like, have you ever, like, because my idea in this was, of our group, of the 7 of us, where does the floppy disk die, if anywhere?
I think I've used a floppy
So the
disk.
question was, yeah, like, have you in person used a floppy disk?
Yeah.
Which my answer is yes. I
Yes.
used floppy disks until I was like 13.
Okay, that's
maybe
strange.
maybe a bit earlier. Maybe when because I don't remember getting a USB till I was 14. So I would have had to be using floppy disks previous to that.
I remember still having to use CDRs and burning CDs
Oh my god, yes.
and DVDs for assessment until I was like year 12.
Y'all are so old.
Because yes, year 12 was 10 years ago. So
Yola.
CD,
Old.
Brandon, careful now. So floppy disks, I do remember still using them until probably, I want to say
also
year
remember-
9?
Yeah, I feel that's probably it lines up.
When I was like
About right.
14-ish?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I would say I stopped, or like not stopped using them, but moved on to something else around 10 to 14.
Oh, yeah.
Like we got rid of a lot of stuff. Like we got broadband when I was 13, turning 14 when we moved to Newcastle. So like that's when we threw out all the floppy disks and all that. So a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the progression in my life is like, when I was 14. So I presume that's also floppy disks.
Fair enough. That brings up a lot of like memories of like old technology and oh god, CRT
Well, I
monitors.
also remember
and...
in year 10 when we got school laptops, the first thing everyone did was pass around flash games on a USB to download onto the computer. And that's all I ever used the computer for. A small amount of typing and flash games during class. Those computers were a terrible idea.
Oh dear. I remember using, oh my god, hang on. Was it Win95 as a child? And by child, I mean like,
95.
and I mean like
Oh,
when I was like
yeah.
6, 7, 8, like as a young child.
Yeah.
Or using like the first iterations of Word at that time, and like monocolor inkjet printers. Oh, sweet Jesus. That is a memory.
I would still kill for an inkjet printer that did not need color cartridges.
That's no longer a thing, right? No longer a thing.
No.
Like straight
I mean,
black.
I bet you could custom buy. I bet you could like buy one, probably.
but then you have
But
to.
it's and I think it would also be cheaper to just buy a fucking cheap ass Canon, Epson, whatever printer from Big W.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh dear. Don't remind me of the old days of dial-up internet conflicting with phone calls and God.
Yep, you'd have to ask if anyone had a call.
Yes.
And usually it was no, so then it would be like, cool, you have internet for half an hour, then you have to give it to your brother.
And wait for the dial tone to ring out.
And
ugh.
have like a 10-meter cord reaching from where the phone point was through to the lounge room.
Oof. Nice.
And somehow Skype working over that.
Huh?
I remember, like, just before we moved to Newcastle, when I was in year 7, using MSN and kind of, like, video chat over dial-up and it working.
How did video work over dial-up?
I mean, the exact same, like, with servers and bullshit. But yeah, I'm like, how
No,
did
but
such
even
slow internet? Yeah, like, how did
with
the slow
56k.
internet...
No, not 56k. Probably like 256 KB. But still, that is wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, I'm surprised, like, how some stuff ran so basically, and now fucking God forbid you have lower than like 1,000 up or down internet.
Yeah. You know. Oh, and BN.
Yeah, and if you have if you have a triple digit ping, then you're fucked. Nothing's running.
Yeah, that's a thing. Also, I think the most intriguing thing about old technology, especially before the advent of smartphones and then 3G tech, is having to use the special international dialing code to call overseas. I know that's a thing. Instead of having to just have the plus whatever international prefix, you had to dial out a specific like international dialing number to call overseas.
See, I feel you would know that, yet I definitely do not know that.
Yes.
Because I never called anyone overseas.
Oh dear.
Even then, the day before my dad's birthday last week, or week before, I was like, Mum, we need to remember to call Dad. And Mum's like, I'm not fucking calling your father. I ain't paying for international calls. I'm like, just use Facebook.
Free.
It's free. And he's at name or family member's place who has Wi-Fi. Fine. So it's not like he's using data. So it's fine. Mum's like, oh, I never thought about that. That's how I talk to my parents. I was like, yeah. Just because he's in Europe doesn't mean... Yeah, it doesn't mean FaceTime doesn't exist. Also, yeah, he's in Holland, not Zimbabwe.
Oh dear. Yes, imagine a world before FaceTime and calling through apps. And Brandon?
I literally can't. Y'all are just too old.
I mean, yeah.
It is true. You are turning 21 next year.
Too old, I tell you. Y'all are too old.
And I feel like a 6.5 year age gap is quite substantial.
Y'all are
between us.
Too old.
No, you are too young.
Y'all are too old.
Y'all are too young.
You're too old.
And yet here we are, Brandon. We are the same person. Yeah. So, you tell me.
It's a harrowing look into my future, let's be real.
Alternative future, mind you. But yeah. Anything that you wanted to talk about? Because I am just trolling through oh boy. Oh, can you explain to me why you brought up a tweet about bibimbap salad?
Well, it came across my timeline, and it was a bibimbap salad without rice.
Which wouldn't even be bibimbap, because in Korean, pap is salad. No, pap is rice. Bibim is mix, so, Oh, white people. Oh, white people. Also, they don't even spell it correctly phonetically, because as a white person, they would pronounce bibimbap as bibimbap.
Which is how I believe I read it the first time. Oh, like, this is also like never hearing it pronounced or even knowing what the fuck it is. Me just being like, oh, that looks nice.
Yeah. And then just...
And that's the thing, like, you can have those rookie errors, but, like, you can have those rookie errors for, like, 6 months. Yeah, like, or, like, a couple of times, but never on the internet.
Because...
the internet is forever.
And because the internet never forgets and is in a forever state of anger and deconstructing, we get to rip you to shreds. I also don't understand. Oh, this is so white. The salad is so white. and it has fucking.
Is it just salad leaves?
So okay, I've got the photo here. It's got cucumbers. It's got salad leaves. It's got shredded cabbage, carrots. What I believe are 2 slices of. Is that bread? I have no idea what that is. And then they've got fried eggs on it, and then some weird relish. And further information provided has told me they have fermented black bean sauce, making it Korean, obviously, but no rice. So it's just
shoes on or off.
Oh, this
Shoes
one.
on
I
or
think
off?
this is an American household which observes Oriental customs. So take that what you will.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh dear. This is just like, oh boy. I can't sometimes with white people, and well, I guess specifically American white people when they talk about chicken having dark and white meat, and I'm instantly taken back to the 2018 season of MasterChef where the white judges critiqued a chicken rice dish and they were talking about dark and white meat, and I was just like, fucking hell, this is the whitest shit on earth. But yeah, some people you shouldn't call it what it is if it doesn't have a key ingredient in the name. Let's call it a salad.
Yeah, but then you also go into the whole idea of like deconstructed foods, and again, fucking white people just need to calm their farm on a lot of stuff, and that's coming from a white person.
Deconstructed food is like sort of okay sometimes when it has every single element of the dish.
As long as I think a certain level of deconstruction is tolerable, because they're not giving you, if it's a cooked dish, they're not giving you raw ingredients for you to. Well, then the argument comes up about Korean barbecue and hot pot, and yeah.
And from what I can guess, like the whole idea of deconstructed was very like, here is a choice, make the choice. So
yeah, that's true.
Make the choice for yourself type of thing. And then it got a bit interesting, but then it got so weird as to the Vegemite toast we talked about last year.
Oh, the one with the smear on the board.
Yeah, from fucking.
Wasn't that a Newcastle cafe?
Newcastle. Yeah, that was Newcastle. That was on Derby Street. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's a Derby Street thing.
I see. Oh, there was also something that I think it was. I can't remember if I saw it first on Subtle Asian Traits or on Twitter. How Whole Foods, which is an American supermarket, cut up jackfruit like watermelon.
Oh yes, I saw this.
Okay.
Hang on, I will find it for you. And that was just like, no. That's not.
Well, for one, jackfruit is mainly used as a vegan
pork,
substitute.
Yes. But that's a.
Yeah, well, for meat in general.
But I feel like that's a more recent development, because for those of us in Southeast Asia, we eat it as fruit.
Oh, okay. See, I did not know that. I did not know that it was
tricky thing,
fruit.
I guess, the most tricky thing with jackfruit is because it has sap. You kind of have to like oil your hands up when you cut that shit up. So I'm going to try and get the tweet pulled up, and oh dear lord, it is very, very white.
Also, did we talk about the mango thing?
Oh no, we didn't talk about the
that
mango
thing
because that was in between recordings. So, yes.
Yeah. See, I have no sense of time anymore.
What is time?
So I was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw this through Adam Liao's tweet, and first of all, let me say that Adam Liao is a master of using Twitter, and an Australian national treasure. So, yeah. There was a tweet by, I believe, First We Feast. So the people that make the Hot Wings, series of videos on YouTube, they uploaded a separate video on how to, de-stone a mango, where you just literally cut, it's like it's basically like an avocado. You cut along the hemisphere.
Yeah, like an
You cut
avocado,
along the hemisphere.
but you cut along the
Yes.
equator.
And then you twist and pull. As an Asian person, I feel very attacked by that because the entire point of of a mango when you cut it is to get two cheeks and the stone, and everyone wants the fucking stone because then you get to basically gnaw on the damn thing. But also then you get to do the cute hedgehog thing if you like that, or scoop the flesh out of the cheek with a spoon. So yeah. And the only purpose I would imagine that people would ever want to cut open mango on the equator is to do terrible things with it like they do with grapefruit. So, you know, if you've seen the grapefruit video, you will understand my horror.
We're talking about the one where it sounds like she's suffocating.
Or drowning.
Yeah.
More drowning than suffocating because there are gasps.
Sounding like a
It's essentially
drain. What?
Say that again.
Yes, it's sounding like a blocked drain. Sounding like a drain. Or a thing. What the other thing? The food eaty drain.
The what? What?
The food eaty drain. The garbage disposal drain.
I guess. Yeah, that one. You know, putting citrus on genitalia and then using it as an instrument to fellate. Yeah. No. Hard nope. I feel like Brandon's awfully quiet all of a sudden. Is that because he's experimented with the fruit before?
No, I'm just completely distracted and setting up a new Tinder.
A new Tinder?
Yeah.
Oh, you had an old one? Oh, yes, you did. I feel like we haven't had as many.
What's wrong with the old one?
Let me connect to my Instagram.
Oh no!
How is everyone supposed to know how cool I am?
Are you cool, Brandon? You haven't uploaded any photos in like forever.
Yeah, I'm so sick.
Oh, finally he admits he's sick.
No, like cool sick.
Oh, is that what you meant?
Sick with lots of Q's.
Sick. Q's and C's and definitely not K's. Safe to say, Brandon is just a little bit frustrated.
It's dumb. I just want people to see my Instagram and see how cool I am.
Dear Lord. Oh, there's also something else that came up in between recordings. And why Brandon's nickname on group chat has changed to Slut for Avocado.
It's just normal. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, Nick, how do you feel about avocado on pizza?
No.
Just no? Okay,
I feel
I don't know what's so bad about it.
Yes. I feel
but
like
there's
yes,
a but coming, yes.
But also no. Like, also, like, I'm not a person that likes avocado that much to begin with. So, I don't think I'm the right person to be asking.
But still, you do have an opinion that I think...
Yeah. I'm also not a pizza person, which doesn't help either.
That might explain things. So, for context, we got a group lunch sometime last week, and they ordered a vegetarian pizza, and the lovely people at Domino's put chunks of avocado on it before it went into the oven. It was baked avocado on a pizza.
Okay. Yeah, no. If it's from Domino's, then it's a certain no.
A strong no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm still not upset at this.
And this is where we find the divide between me and Brandon. Is that on a pizza, I don't know how to feel about that.
Why not?
It tastes of nothing on a pizza. It doesn't change anything. Just adds more.
There's nothing to do with the avocado or the pizza. That's everything to do with the fact that you went to Domino's.
But it changes nothing about the flavor of the pizza overall. You feel?
I can tell you that
And I
it
feel
would
like-
if you did not go to Domino's.
You think?
Yes.
You're gonna have to change my mind. So
It is dumb.
yeah, you're really just gonna have to change my mind and not bring me to all you can eat hot pot if and
You're
when I turn up
dumb.
in Adelaide. So
You're dumb.
excuse me.
I said it.
What?
You're dumb.
Am I though?
Yes.
Or am I just gay?
No, you're dumb.
Oh dear. What is it? Oh, did you find the tweet, Nick?
I did.
Oh, okay, hang on. Blah blah blah. Simply can't trust people who don't leave the tea bag just deep in the cup for a bit. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to let that steep for a bit, and then yeah, we might need to see this technique in person to get the true.
Also, another thing, I mean, I'm not against it, but also, like, I think it's stupid, which is people that add, if you're going to add sugar or some type of sweetener, which, I mean, you probably should. I mean, it depends. There are some teas that are
Like
or
green tea does not.
I
need
like
it.
a little bit of sweetness with my green. Like, not heaps, like not as much as black, but just like a little bit, even though it does not need sweetness, just a little bit, because hey, sugar good. But yeah, people that add sugar like last, that I don't understand.
What?
Huh?
Like
What?
people who like
What?
like will make tea unsweetened and then add sugar to that.
Isn't that we're just seasoning the tea? You know,
Like sugar first, then water, dissolve sugar. Also, this is a whole nother situation, but my stepdad adds milk to coffee before the water, which I also feel is very wrong.
it's the whole like
What?
Like, I feel like there is a certain order to these things.
Stop making instant coffee. Fuck.
Well, I mean, also, one, I don't drink coffee, so I don't give a fuck. But I'm like, why are you adding the milk before the water? I feel like...
I think there is there is a reason why people will do that, is so that it is hotter, because if you add cold milk to
I
hot,
mean,
it will decrease the temperature, and then you have a...
it should not matter
can't remember if
unless you are adding... Like, if they're... Depending on the time. Like, I know that there's people that will, like, make... I'm also, like, completely against ever adding milk to tea. But people who will, like, make a pot of tea or make a pot of coffee and then add milk to it, like, when it's cooling down. So, like, you will pour a cup and then add milk to that. That is bad because it does cool it down faster because of the, closer temperatures. But I feel like between the adding the milk first and then the water, or adding water then milk, temperature's not really going to change that much, because there isn't... Like, the temperatures are going to be the same no matter what. It's not like you're dripping. I don't know. I also am not good at thermodynamics.
That's what I'm trying to remember back to,
Yeah.
senior high
That
school
was
physics.
year 11 physics. And
Yes.
I also... Did I fail year 11 physics or not? No, I think I just passed. But I did pass university physics. The physics course I did at uni, I passed.
I think I'm the same as you. I definitely failed high school physics.
Well, at training last week, a guy I had some classes with, he was doing science teaching and I was doing chemistry. So we had, like, some chem classes together. And he overly ribs me, and sometimes it gets annoying, but sometimes it's fine. And this one, he was, like, ribbing me for, like, dropping out. And I was like, hey, I never failed a course at uni. If I was failing, I just dropped out. And I got the U for uncompleted or whatever the fuck. I never failed a course. I would, like, drop out the week before exams and be like, didn't fail.
Doesn't that count as a fail at uni?
No, it just counts as
Depends.
uncompleted.
Are you sure?
Really?
Yeah.
That seems
That's
wrong of
interesting.
your university.
Depends. Wait, when did you drop out?
He said a week before the
Like,
exam.
yeah, just before
No,
exams.
but which exams? Like before exam block?
Yeah, like final
That
exams.
seems
But
wrong.
doesn't that mean you fail?
Yeah, surely you would get a withdraw with fail.
Yeah,
and
no,
not
no.
a withdraw no fail.
From what I know is that there are 2 dates you need to be aware of. Hi, this is uni admin Josh talking. So the first 4 weeks, if you withdraw before census, it is you don't pay, you don't fail.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's like try before you buy. If you withdraw before the 8th week, you still pay, but you don't fail the subject. If you withdraw after the 8th week, you fail and you pay. So unless your university has some
I will
Your
double
seems
check.
sus.
your
I think
end
we'll
seems
one
I
day.
think we need to check up on that
Interesting.
university.
Oh boy.
I'm probably wrong.
Uh-huh.
Like, I did drop out a while ago. Oh, okay, here we go. So for this year, last day to drop a course without academic penalty was the end of semester 1.
Huh?
Was the 7th of June, and exams started on the 11th
That
of
makes
June.
no fucking sense.
That is
So you could drop out
That-
so you can drop out like the week before exams and you're
That
still
is-
fine.
wait, no, okay, so without academic penalty, but financial penalty, obviously.
Oh yeah. It's I believe it's the first 2 weeks for UON is dropping out without paying. No.
Has to be 4 weeks.
No, because there's 2 dates. Last day to withdraw or drop a course without financial penalty.
Is
That was like March, but I always remember there was this like one that was like 2 weeks after
I think that's like
school
enrollment.
started.
It's like you have to secure enrollment.
Yeah, that could have been something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But the withdrawal without without academic penalty date, that is wild. I just okay.
The fuck?
I think Brandon, it's safe to say that regional universities are very interesting.
What the wow. UIN, what the fuck?
Hey, I also remember. I am also kind of happy to say I was the last UON first year chem course to actually do
Look.
labs, because the year after me they cancelled chem labs because people
I'm just gonna
kept on
say
setting shit on fire or
that it's
spilling
very
organics.
obvious that the University of Newcastle isn't a Group of 8 university.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
no, we ain't.
readily admit.
I mean, I could just saying I'm on the calendar. It'll probably be on the calendar. Autonomy Day. There you go. And it's literally just it's just a week of the campus smelling like puke.
What a weird fucking university.
Like, people just drink continuously. Because Newcastle is hilly, they like...
Start at the top and now
Push-
they're there.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
And then they have like carts and they just like push each other half drunk down the hill.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
And it usually ends in injuries.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, dear. Dear.
I also someone in like part of the uni pages, someone was like, "Oh, the professor made an exam on autonomy day," and I was like, "Nah, that professor is great." I remember I had a professor who was like, "Listen, I don't want to be here for autonomy day." Because I don't want to deal with drunk people, so I'm cancelling class. If you want to get drunk, you do that on your own expense, but I ain't going to be here, so don't even come to talk to me. And I was like, I respect you now,
I don't
'cause
understand your university.
fuck that shit.
Yeah, I still don't understand, but okay.
I just want you to know that your university makes no sense to me as an education institution.
Also, it's built on a swamp.
Oh,
That's not strange. That's fine.
Yeah, so it always has like Ross River fever
Ooh.
and other types of mosquito-borne viruses.
Ooh,
I'm fine
dengue
with
hotspots.
And we're like, should you like, I don't know, maybe fog the campus? And they're like, no, that is your problem.
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
I'm like, just fucking fog the campus or like fill in the stagnant bogs.
Okay, well, they'll let you drop out a week before exams, so they clearly can't be making that much money.
Oh dear.
Oh, I
I mean,
could,
they
I
still-
could get on whole rants, like the whole fact that I pay what we call new sport fees so I can play Quidditch. And that's like $70, and I get all I get from that is insurance. Yet a student gets it for free, and they get all their shit for half price. I'm like, that's fucked. I'm paying $70. Where's my like half price jerseys?
It's because they're a student.
Do you know how much debt I'm going into a semester?
I got student debt as well.
Yeah, but you're not accumulating more.
No, because I dropped out. I dropped out to stop getting debt. And then got more debt, and then stopped myself from getting more debt when they tried to screw me. And then, oh no, this course I'm doing for free, so I can, that's fine. I'm not paying for this course that I'm about to drop.
Dear Lord. Oh dear. Please don't bring up student debt, because I have crossed as of I believe as of last semester, I crossed the 50k threshold in terms of debt.
I thought you were going to say the 90k threshold, and I was like, oh boy, don't do that.
I might. Oh, actually, I have to figure out. If the PhD that I may or may not do will push that limit. No, actually. Depending on the field of study, PhDs technically do not incur Commonwealth debt.
Wow.
Oh, seeing we're talking about debt, this was something I heard. Americans calling the system that we in the UK have, where like either
Hex, you mean?
Yeah, like Hex
help.
Calling that serfdom. Saying that you were then enslaved to the government, and I was like,
"That's not how that works."
I would prefer that than being enslaved to a capital bank that will take the money from me by hook or by crook.
But the government. I'm an American and I hate the government of all sorts.
At least the government have not taken any money from me when I
also
don't
have no
it.
critical thinking skills. But what?
Also, video games cause gun murder.
Also, yeah, we'll take down all of our violent video games, but you can definitely keep the guns here. I need that.
We'll take down all the Call of Duty posters from aisle 11, but in aisle 12, you can still go get your guns.
We'll replace them with our guns.
But you know, angry white men aren't the problem, you guys.
Oh no, of course not. When would angry white men ever be the problem, Josh?
I have no idea.
They're just so nice and never do anything wrong.
You know, like threaten multiple countries and building walls and inciting hatred.
Hey, walls are good. Walls can hold a roof, so then you don't get wet.
That is true. But
we provide nice accommodation for people that want to come to Australia. That accommodation isn't in Australia, but it's still accommodation.
There's no guarantee of coming to Australia.
Hey, yeah, but you got accommodation. That's better than like in other countries where, I mean, you'll probably have better accommodation and not held and like not being able to do whatever you want and actually being fed.
On the plus side, you can be
care.
Indefinitely detained in Australia if you're a refugee, so that's fun.
Oh, what fun times.
White fun times.
WHYTE? Fun times?
Yeah, sure.
Hey,
yes. Now I know I'm fucking rambling, but on the UON calendar, October 1st, International Coffee Day. Why is that on the UON calendar?
Because
I really don't understand your university anymore. You just need to stop. You honestly just need to just stop bringing it up. I just need to not know that it exists anymore.
Because apparently UON is a slave to coffee.
It makes no sense as an institution. So
anyway. How's that sour candy? Is it all gone?
No, I have heaps left. I stopped eating them after I had the first one when we started recording because I felt like I would be good with recording and not chew something the entire time. Which I understand is actually quite new for me.
Yeah, you Adelaideans have a compulsion to eat on mic.
Look,
They need to have something in their mouths first.
Look, it's really important. Okay,
Is it really important to have something in your mouth?
It's so important. It's because
rolling around in your mouth, generating
as
saliva.
Adelaideans, we cannot buy groceries past 9 p.m. So
I
we need to
mean-
always have our snacks with us. And because we record at like 9:30 our time, sometimes 10,
Yes.
we will
Yeah,
have
but
to
I
have
also
our
have a
snacks
cupboard
with
of
us.
snacks, and I don't eat
Yeah,
on
but-
mic.
my snacks are in my room, Nick.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
have
you
snacks in my
forget
room
that
as
he has
well.
alcohol also available in his
In-
room, Nick.
Well, that I
My
don't
room,
have, but
Nick.
I have Gatorade in my room.
That's not as fun.
That's not as fun as cider, apparently.
It's not.
Mm.
It's really not.
Oh God, not this again.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you come here often?
What do you recommend?
So,
What's a guy like you doing in a place like this?
You tell me.
I can tell you what you're doing in a place like this.
Mm-hmm.
Getting ready to give some recommendations.
Oh dear
Oh,
Lord.
fuck yeah!
Are you dabbing, Brandon?
Ah, no, my hands are busy. But oh, fuck yeah!
His hands are finding all available snacks.
Oh, fuck yeah!
No, he's cutting a mango around its equator right now as we speak.
Oh, fuck!
He's cutting the vegetables for his non-rice salad.
Oh, fuck yeah!
anyways,
Brandon,
Josh.
what's a recommendation?
So
What is-
we give recommendations at the end of episodes, and they are things that we say that you should watch or do or see or touch or taste. I'm assuming, but no one's really recommended a food, so
Not yet.
not yet. We'll see.
We'll see. Do we live in hope? I don't think so.
Josh, what is your recommendation?
Oh, what am I recommending this week? Oh, I know. It's a collection of stories. I don't know what the exact. It's not compendium, but it's a collection of stories edited together by Brandon. Calm down.
What a weird author name.
Dear God. No, it's a. I don't know if I can call it a book, but yeah, sure, fine, why not? It's a book called Growing Up Queer in Australia, which is edited by Australia's favourite gay Asian male, Benjamin Law. It was released as of the time of recording a few days ago, actually. So they had a book launch in Melbourne. And I managed to track one down here in Brisbane after like hunting and scavenging and going through like 3 other Dimmicks branches first before finding the 4th one. And it was the only copy available at that Dimmicks. So, phew. It's, how do I put this? It's a collection of stories written by queer people from all walks of life, from all races, and, in the relationship with faith and family and reconciling, particularly the queer Asian Australian stories, how they reconcile being Asian and Australian and being queer, and how they live with that and try to be themselves. So it's really good. I am currently a quarter of the way through the book, and it has been tear-inducingly good. So, if you can find it, go and buy it. From what I have heard, I believe if you are able to purchase it from a readings bookstore, they're donating a portion of the sales from it to an LGBTQIA plus cause. So yeah, and if you want to come find me on Twitter and Instagram, hit me up at abangpanoy.
Cool. Nick, what are you doing the recommend for?
I am recommending a documentary I found on Netflix this week. It has just been released. It is called Basketball or Nothing. It is about a high school boys basketball team from Chinle, Arizona, part of the Navajo Nation, which is a school that is made up of 99% Native American students. And yeah, it's just about them coming together, learning, well, not learning to play basketball, they know how to play basketball, but learning to play a more competitive style of basketball, their lives on the reservation. It looks at some of them being high school seniors, looks at their progression into college and their kind of aspirations. And I mean, one, if you like sports, it's good. And if you don't like sports, I think it's also good because it's not really about the basketball. It's more about the development of adolescence and kind of finding something that unites you. I don't know. It's really good. It's like 8 episodes. They're like half an hour each, so it's not that big of a commitment. So it's on Netflix, Basketball or Nothing. If you want to find me on social medias, Instagram and Twitter is at Nick Lancroon.
Sweet.
Sick.
Brandon,
Yeah.
are you recommending that sour lolly or what?
No.
So what you recommending?
My recommendation is this place called Koi Hot Pot Buffet.
Oh God, here we go.
It's an all-you-can-eat hot pot place in Adelaide. So, very useful recommendation for most of our listeners.
Oh, this is such a long game. This is such a long game reference. And I believe. Oh dear. I don't think I need to give context.
No, that's it.
Wait. Say that name again.
Koi Hot Pot Buffet.
Where is this?
It's on Wright Street.
Oh, is this the one that we were looking at before? I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Oh. I see. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. Is there any reason why you're recommending it, Brandon?
Oh, because it looks fucking amazing.
Does it?
I don't know, yeah.
The reviews say otherwise.
Hey.
Oh!
Hey.
What? I'm just saying. The reviews are mixed.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I've never been to a good Asian place where the reviews haven't been mixed.
That's true. But anyway, where can people find you?
Oh yeah, so hit me up on the Instagram, brndn.le, or Twitter without the dot. Or if you're in the Adelaide region, I am on Tinder.
If you didn't say it, I was going to.
Yes. Dear me.
That's how you find me.
If you're in Adelaide and on Tinder, Brandon is there. So just, up your range a bit. Maybe you'll find him. Maybe take him on a date or something.
Oh, please do.
I don't know where. I hear...
Get a hot pot.
Who's paying, Brandon? Obviously not you.
Presumably them, but I can pay for my share. But hopefully them.
Oh dear. This is such a deep reference.
Anyway, with all of the recommendations done, I think it's time to wind up the episode. If you enjoyed the episode, you can find the podcast on the Apple Podcast and the Google Play and Spotify and
other places that you get podcasts.
Yes, except SoundCloud.
Oh yeah, no, fuck SoundCloud. Fuck 'em. Just fuck SoundCloud.
You know, if you can find a SoundCloud, cut it in half, twist and pull it, and then you can fuck it.
Or if you, that's it. That's all to say about that. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Great Mates Podcast. If you want to ask us questions, like our photos, say things at us,
give us feedback,
come to Hot Pot with me, you know, whatever
it's
you
not
really
come
want.
to hot. It's not go to Hot Pot with Brandon. Take Brandon.
Yeah, no,
to
that's
Hot
true.
Pot.
That's true. Yeah, take me to Hot Pot.
Yes, you know, because Brandon is lonely.
Please. But yeah. Anyway, I think.
What else is there?
That's it.
No.
Socials.
You've done socials. What else is there?
Find us
also
on yada.
That. But the next set of Let's Get Deeper episodes are coming
I
out.
don't care about those. You can talk about those. Okay.
Right. Sure. So yeah, this is where I wrestle the steering wheel from Brandon for a hot second. So the next set of Let's Get Deeper episodes are coming out this Thursday and next Thursday. And this Thursday we also have a special Spoilers for Days episode dropping. So if you want to, go find us on wherever you find get podcasts and sub to us there on Let's Get Deeper and Spoilers for Days, and then you'll get those episodes on your feeds this week and next week.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, Brandon.
Fuck yeah.
Come on, bring us home.
It's been great. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh dear.